Welcome once again here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. My name is Paul Cowdery. I'm the president and founder of Regional Radio Sports. Great to be with you this afternoon and this evening and this morning, wherever you may be listening to today's Tom Robbins Show. We welcome you to episode number 8. Tom, of course, is the athletic director here, as well as the women's basketball coach here at Holy Cross College at Notre Dame, Indiana. Tom, I can't believe we're in the version number 8 here today, wrapping up the college basketball season. It's a time of the year where everybody's handing out some hardware, some postseason awards, all those type of situations. So let's start right there, right from the get-go. One of the gals on your team, Grace Adams, first team All-Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference. This is really kind of not a surprise. This is what I consider a no-brainer. She just was amazing almost night in and night out. Let's start with that and talk about her. We've also got some other kids who got some nods. We'll get to talk about Lauren as well as Jordan, but let's talk about the season that Grace has had, one of the most prolific seasons in Holy Cross women's basketball history.
Yeah, absolutely. She averaged a double-double on the season, 18 and 10, and I think she had, 13 double-doubles total for the year, and 29 and 16 in our tournament win, or I'm sorry, 31 and 16 in our tournament win up at St. Xavier when we upset them. But she did just have a tremendous year. And what people don't realize, too, is for about half of that season, if not a little more than half, she was significantly struggling with an ankle injury that she was wrapping up every day. We even had her out of practices before Christmas, out of practices after every game day, just to get her recovered. But she's just such a tough kid, just kept coming. And like you said, had a great year. She actually surpassed the points in a season this year. She had 557 points this season, and the number one previous was Keisha Streeter from a few years ago with 551. So she surpassed that this year. We'll see. She's on course to pass the all-time career points leader, which is also Keisha Streeter with 1,800 some. So she's on course to do that. If she has another year next year or senior year next year like she did this year, that's definitely within scope.
I know that you guys got to the semifinals of the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference, heartbreaking overtime loss to Olivet Nazarene, who had a great postseason run, make no mistake about it. But, you know, Jordan Smith's kind of the person that puts the keys in the car and gets you going. Let's talk about Jordan. And then, of course, Lauren Morris, another young lady, both earning honorable mention All-League.
Yeah, it was great to see. Jordan, this is her third year, junior year, and she's been honored by the conference every year. Her first year, she was freshman of the year, and then last year, honorable mention as well as this year. And so she has been the one that runs the show for us, and that's very obvious. She averaged over 32 minutes this year a game, which we try to keep players under 30 just for the wear and tear of the season. But it's hard to keep her under 30, to be honest, with all the things that she does. So she played the most minutes for us. And then Lauren Morris, as a senior this year, getting her first all-conference recognition. She shot the ball incredibly well as playing great defense this year. She shot 36% from three, which is good for sixth all-time for a season, and by far her best season. So those two are a huge part of what we did this year. We kind of had a four-headed monster with Grace and those two, and then Kayliana Hamill. I believe if we would have been second or third in the conference instead of sixth in the conference, that Kayliana would have been honored as well. But those four really did some great things for us.
We got Matt Marvin we're going to talk about here in a moment about the upcoming opportunity he has here as golf coach. But Lily Toppin also named one of the 5 freshmen of the year. What a really neat honor for her, and that, once again, the future's so bright you better wear shades, right?
Yeah, freshman. I mean, so she's only the third freshman for Holy Cross to ever get that recognition with Jordan and Grace 2 years ago. So it's only 5. There's 12 teams in the conference, and it's 5 freshmen that are honored. So she had a great year, and I think everybody can agree she just got better as the year went on, and really down the stretch, she had some great fourth quarters for us. Which is as good a thing as you can say about a freshman in any context. Okay,
so Matt Marvin's with us. He's the new golf coach here at Holy Cross College at Notre Dame, and obviously he's going to get started. We're great to have Matt with us on the program here today. He's no stranger to this geographical area. He's worked over at La Porte La Lumiere for some time, but now he's coming in. And once again, I know you're excited because we've talked women's golf with Abby. I think it may have been last show, and now here we're going to talk to Matt about the men's side of things. But the staff's kind of rounding into shape right now. I know it's an exciting time that going into the new year with all the new personnel as well as some of the KG veterans that are still around, like Coach Mike McBride and his group. They're going to be a lot better next year. They went through a lot of growing pains with a lot of young and new kids in their program. So let's talk about bringing Matt on and some of the things that was impressive when you guys sat down to say, hey, Matt, can you hit the ball straight and far, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I can't, by the way.
No, we're very excited to have Matt joining our staff. And, it's a situation, we talked about it last time with Abby, where the men's and women's team are going to be split in terms of leadership. And I think that's a great thing for us, a situation in which we can really give focus on the individuals on the team for the guys, and Matt can do that. He also has a great track record for administration and recruiting, and to be able to bring that to the table certainly was a plus for us when we were looking at who we were going to hire. So we're really excited about him joining. We've had good success in our golf program, and we feel like we're turning it over to good hands.
I mean, did you get back and did you talk golf with him? I mean, did you talk about club usage? Did you talk about what's your favorite course? Was any of that kind of stuff part of the interview, or was it just strictly, hey, listen, I can hit it straight, I can hit it long, right?
Yeah, and to be honest, you don't want to golf with me. I am not a golfer, so I'm definitely not able to talk those sorts of things. I think Mike McBride did a little bit when he came in, ask him a few golf questions, but no, we were really looking at the administration perspective of it. His ability to teach, certainly is a big part of that, and he shows that in other sports, basketball as well. But then recruiting is big, especially for a situation like
Sure.
golf, where you're bringing in people to continue what we have established.
Matt, what was the allure of coming to Holy Cross College at Notre Dame? I know that working in a private sector at LaPorte Loudon, you've done a wide variety of things, from coaching basketball to all kinds of things. You're the athletic director, so you understand all the aspects of that. But what was the thing that kind of sparked your interest here?
Yeah, I think what really lured me into it was the ability to coach, right? Just coach only, and be able to focus on the 9 young men that we have on our team in developing their golf game. Being at a small private high school, you wear a lot of hats, right? And so you're always balancing a lot of things going on. And so just that ability to come to a program that has had success in the past. Just last year we had a player in the national tournament, in the NAI national tournament. And, I think being able to just focus on those 9 young men and watch them grow their game on the course, but also, the thing that I talk to them about is my job here is to make them into their best versions of themselves, not just on the golf course, but in the classroom and in the community. And, to have 10 young men every day to be able to work with is what I would consider living the dream.
One of the things, Tom, that you and I talked with Abby about is the opportunity that intercollegiate athletics has today, especially from an international standpoint. Getting to kind of connect some dots from kids overseas wanting to be a part of things here in the States, and that's becoming really, really prevalent at small institutions, and matter of fact, big schools as well. We're seeing a lot more international flavor and education-based athletics, and I think that's an exciting time. I guess the other aspect is sometimes I wonder if our U.S. kids even understand how neat things are at the collegiate level. Don't you think that's the truth?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we have, an unusual situation compared to the rest of the countries of the world in our combination of academics and athletics. Most of these international recruits or international interests that we get, they're not playing sports at university, and the idea that they can, get discount rates for being able to participate in a sport for their academics is a revolutionary idea to them. So it's definitely a drawing card, and there's a lot of organizations and groups out there that work with international students to get them over to the United States as a business because of the amount of interest that there is for it.
Matt, is that something that you think that you'll tap into some of those resources? I talked with a college coach last month, and he told me that he has 9 countries represented on his current roster, including countries as big as or small as, however you define that, is Liechtenstein. I mean, coming across the pond, as they say. What's your take on the international thing?
I think it's great. Eric Mahone, the tennis coach, he's been great in connecting me with some of his international resources. I know his team is full of international players, and I think the one thing I've learned is when you can bring a team together from all over the world and get to know, someone from England, right, or wherever, the what you learn from them is invaluable. And so to be able to kind of have a little bit of a melting pot of a team is a really special experience to have.
When you look at once again, getting back to the original concept of wanting to be a part of the Holy Cross College at Notre Dame community, and you look at the facilities you're going to be playing at Blackthorn, I don't know if you can ask for anything better than that as your home course, and you've got this facility geographically here. Daco Clark has done a great job in regards to really just infusing of life into the athletics, and I think I'm encouraged because I've been here since the beginning of athletics. As Tom, and you know this. I mean, to see how this has grown exponentially. And now that with Dr. Clark's vision of moving it forward, I just think this is going to be an amazing thing. And I guess, Matt, I just want to encourage you to this is a great opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I noticed in the interview process here is the love that Tom and everybody has for Holy Cross College, right? Including the athletes, the students. They love Holy Cross, and they want Holy Cross to be successful. And I think to be in a community where, I'm going to be at Tom's basketball games rooting him on, right, and cheering for him, and being in a community where you cheer on other people's success is the type of community that is going to be successful and that I want to be a part of.
Tom, when you guys sat down and went over the resume, Matt, I've got it right here in front of me. It's impressive. I make no mistake about that. But what was some of the things that you were able to sort out and say, hey, listen, this is something this is sadly needed and we've been missing in the past?
Yeah, well, I think the experience, just having worn a lot of hats, as he said earlier, being at a small private high school, and that's important here. Even though he's specifically going to be the golf coach and that's going to be his only position, there's a lot of things that come up in our, being a small private college ourselves. There's a lot of things that come up that you need people with experience with their hands on the wheel. So that was definitely a big point. But then also the ability to recruit. We're not Division I. We're not handing out full rides to everybody that comes along. There's things that we have to offer, and we need to verbalize those and sell those things to people. But sometimes those aren't things that recruits are interested in. So how you pitch our college and how you operate in that art, so to speak, because recruiting is an art. So someone who has the experience of doing it and is involved in that craft is highly valuable to us. And clearly you can see on his resume the amount of recruiting and involvement that he's had in that situation. And personally, I feel like coming from a La Lumiere situation, small private high school in Indiana, we're in a situation here where the recruiting, I believe, will be easier than what he's endured there, because there he's trying to take people away from other situations that they're already in. We're in a situation here where everybody's looking for what's the next step for me.
Right.
So they're looking for an opportunity. So I think it's going to be an easier situation for him, and he's obviously clearly been successful in a tougher situation.
Once again, Matt Marvin joining us, along with Coach Tom Robbins. We welcome you to the 8th edition of the Tom Robbins Show. Matt, moving forward and talking about your student athletes, I know this is basically the first week on the job. I don't know how much time you've had a chance to be engaged with your athletes and get to know them, but if you look at the landscape of the roster, what are your thoughts on the roster as a whole?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'll tell you one of the cool things is I've had a chance to meet with each player individually, and I asked them all the same question, which was, tell me your goal for the year. And 7 of the 9 all started with the same goal of, I want our team to win conference, right?
There you go.
And in a sport like golf, where it's such an individual sport, to have a group of young men that are thinking team and thinking good of the team, really is kind of unheard of. It excites me. We have a young team with no seniors, so we're gonna use this year to have the best year possible. Hopefully, go win conference, but then we're returning everybody. So this spring is going to really set the tone for what next year, next fall, and next spring looks like for us. So it's a great group of young men. Dylan, Maury, and Mikey Chase are our 2 junior captains, voted on by the guys before I got here, which was kind of cool to see how they've led the team over the last few months. And, I'm really excited to kind of build around that core.
Tom?
Yeah, Coach, as you're talking about getting started there too, I'm curious for our viewers out there, what do you see as the biggest challenges going forward, not just for this season coming up, but as far as establishing your era, so to speak, in this program?
Yeah, I think the immediately the biggest challenge, right, is just getting to know the guys. I was talking to a player yesterday, and the question I asked was like, what gets you going, right? What gets you fired up? What makes you want to work a little bit harder? And I think that's the biggest challenge right now is learning the guys. But then for the team, we did a strength and conditioning workout on Tuesday, and it was the quote of the day. A kid looked at me and said, "Coach, I joined golf so I didn't have to do this." So I think setting that culture of, hey, if you look at golf over the last 20 years, one of the biggest changes has been fitness and getting stronger and getting more flexible, and so really getting our team to buy into that aspect of the game, that it's not just I go out, I hit balls, and I play golf, right? You got to have some strength and conditioning with it as well. So I think that's going to be my biggest challenge over the next year.
I would think, and Tom, I mean, you may have an opinion about this. One thing about golf is a sport that you can play your whole life. It really is. It's something that, I mean, you're not playing basketball up and down the floor like you used to. I'm just going to be confident in saying that. You're in great shape, but I'm going to guess that you're not out there banging up against Mike McBride's guys or even your own team.
Yeah, very true.
But this is a sport that you can play for your whole life. And I think that in itself is, I don't know if young people even think about the big picture about what golf would provide. But, I mean, what do you think, Matt? It's a lifelong thing.
Yeah, and on top of that is you go into, what I call the real world, the business world, the working world. The skill of golf will come up a lot. And we actually have 7 of our 9 guys are business majors. And so that's going to play out for the rest of their life, and they're always going to have opportunities through business and golf for their whole life.
I've never been able to understand where the tax write-off is, Tom, on the golf and all those particular things from a business standpoint. All right, so let's talk about the moving forward, and I want you to talk to me as if I'm a dad and my son is going to want to come in to potentially play golf here at Holy Cross College. I want you to give me your initial thought on what's your spiel. I'm going to use that terminology very loosely on what's the selling point and how you're going to do it.
Yeah, well,
sell me on this idea, Coach.
Well, one, I want you to get on campus, right? I want every recruit, I want your son to get on campus and get the feel for what Holy Cross is about. Meet the people and see the care the administration, the staff, the faculty have for these students, right? So that's my first and foremost is understanding that. And then when you come to Holy Cross, we have a wonderful one for golf, an incredible indoor simulator where you're going to be able to work on your game 12 months of the year. And then as far as practice facilities go, Blackthorn, you're not going to get a better practice facility probably in the state of Indiana when it comes to where you can practice. So if you want to come here, get a great education with a staff that cares, and then also you want to work on your golf game and get better, this is the place to be, because we're going to put you in a position where you can get better every single day, not just on the golf course, but in the classroom and in the community.
All right, so when you start this whole dynamic, do you sit down and with your student athletes, and do you put down a list of physical goals in regards to I want to get bigger, stronger, faster? I know that's when Tom's sitting down with his recruits. He wants his recruits to get bigger, stronger, faster, because they're going to be able to compete in this rough and tumble Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference. They got to be tough to be able to survive a round robin in that league. I mean, if you don't, you fall apart. So golf's a little bit different type of situation. So you want you guys to get bigger, stronger, faster, or is it just I want you to tune your body into something differently? So talk about from the physical training standpoint on how golf people train conversely differently than Tom is training his women's basketball team.
Yeah, we're not out running 33 down and backs over and over again.
No suicides?
Sure. No suicides going on.
Come on.
The conversation goes, tell me what you want to accomplish. Tell me how important is golf to you? And, I think that is also one more thing that has me really excited. I said to my wife last night is I've got 9-10 guys that want to get better at their sport versus the high school level. You may have 3 or 4 kids that want to get better and the rest are doing it to be with their friends, right? And so with golf, so much of it is core and flexibility. That's what you're working on with the strength and program and conditioning, being able to walk 18 holes carrying a 25-pound bag for 4 hours, 5 hours. Gets tiring. But so much of it more is just your core strength, right? Your flexibility and allowing your body to just move the way it needs to. So we're going to be focused a lot on flexibility and that core strength.
All right, so do you set together a 5-year game plan and say, I want to bring in 2 recruits next year, 5 recruits the following year? Have you thought about it, or is it you're still way too in the infancy stages to look at your goals, your 2-year, 5-year, 7-year plan?
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot. It's about all I think about is this.
Join the crowd.
I think with the current makeup of our team, we got kind of 2 spots for freshmen for next year. We'd love to get the roster number to kind of right around 12. And with having 10 guys right now and no seniors, kind of 2 freshmen is where we're looking at. In a perfect world, you're going to have 3 young men per class, in a perfect world, right? But
sure.
We all know that's not going to be kind of how it goes every year. So that roster number of 12, I think is going to put us in a position to be competitive, where you've got, in golf, you take the top 5 players and that's who goes and competes in a tournament. And so if you can have 12 guys that are all working hard every single day, pushing that top 5 so that they're always saying, hey, I got to keep working. That's going to be really our goal is getting, 2-3 guys in every year that were studs in high school. And I really believe we can build that one through some international relationships. But also we have some great high schools right here in the area. And, Penn High School is I think they've been to the state championship in golf 7 years in a row. St. Joe High School has been to the state championship in the last 5 years. So we've got some programs right here locally that we're going to be recruiting hard from a lot.
I can tell you right now, Tom Robbins has recruited Penn High School very, very well. And if anybody knows how to recruit Penn High School, it's Tom. So he's your go-to guy.
Love it.
And all I have to do mention 2 names: Jordan Smith, Grace Adams. Grace, first team all-conference. Jordan, honorable mention. And, Tom, let's face it. At the college level, if you can't recruit, you can't compete.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all about those relationships. We're lucky enough at our tournament game that we had the semifinal here at home. Chrissy Ulrich was in the building, came in. We got her on the guest list, and she's in. She brought her whole program in here last year when we played IU South Bend, and they had Tia Chambers, who had played for her.
Sure.
So, those relationships are huge. And, Coach is talking about St. Joe and Penn, and making those relationships really stick opens up pipelines for those kids to come to your school, because if their mentors that they're experiencing at the high school level think highly of you at your level, and that's the next step for them, it's an easy transition for those students.
Matt, it's been awesome getting to know you. We wish you best of luck this upcoming year, as well as the future. I know I can speak on behalf of the Regional Radio Sports team, and we've been blessed to be a part of Holy Cross College athletics for a long time now, and I know it's an exciting time. Look forward to having you on at a basketball game or our local talk show. So good luck with things.
Thank you for having me today. It's an exciting time, and as I said to our guys, it's a great day to be a Saint.
Yes, it is. Tom, just a final thought. I know it's you're thinking banquet season. You're thinking about recruiting. I guess my final question for you is, I know that you're going to be losing some kids to graduation, and have you given any thought to, I'm bringing in 5, I'm bringing in 10, I'm bringing in 1. Have you given any thought to that? Where are you at?
Yeah, we're losing 2. We've already have 2 coming in, committed and ready to go. One of them I just saw play last night. Michigan is involved in their districts, which is the equivalent of sectionals here in Indiana. So she's on to the championship game on Friday, and we're looking to bring in a couple more. So we Coach talked about 3 for golf. We like to bring in 4 a year. So even though we're losing 2, you bring in 4, and then, if you have somebody after, maybe a freshman or whatever this year, it's like I'd like to go back closer to home, and if you have a surprise like that happens, you have a little cushion to move forward with. So
I remember in years past, you've run into a couple situations where an injury here, an injury there, an injury here, and literally it was injury, and then you're down to 6 players, and you think that big roster that one time, like how am I going to keep everybody happy? Now all of a sudden, because of no fault of anybody's own, now you're kind of left holding the bag. So you've got to almost over-recruit in many cases to be able to make sure that you can deal with the struggles and the physical stuff that goes on over the course of a 4-month period of a season. And I would also say, as you know this as well as I do, basketball players are not made during the season. They're made during the summer.
Absolutely.
And I hope that your guys will continue, as well as Mike's guys, do things special this offseason. So good luck.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for the Tom Robbins Show. Thanks again for joining us here. Thanks a special, as always, to the legendary Tanner Camp, as well as Andrew Kirksey, for all of us here at the File Center and McKenna Arena on the campus of Holy Cross College at Notre Dame, Indiana. I'm Paul Condry. God bless you all.